Another thing I'm learning the hard way since coming here is that girls only care about whether you're interesting or not, whether you're exciting or not. They don't care whether you're good or bad. They don't care. In fact, they would prefer the bad boys because they're the ones they view as exciting. They don't like the good guys because they think they're boring. They don't do the things that are exciting to them. So you need to try to get some hobbies and stuff that are perceived as exciting. One point I have is the other day I was out with a friend, and we were with two girls shopping, and I mentioned that he's a biker because he has a motorcycle. He's not in a motorcycle club or anything, but he has a motorcycle, and immediately they got excited at that. And it's not that being a biker is a bad thing. I plan on getting a motorcycle myself, but the fact that they got excited at that, it's something that's interesting, even though sometimes there's a negative connotation with being a biker. So, yeah, but they don't care about that. They only care that it was interesting. Another point I have is there was actually a church group I go to sometimes on campus. And there's this one girl, she's been there before and she's complained before about having relationship problems past couple of times. I'm guessing it's the same guy. And she keeps saying she has no luck with relationships and he's been abusive to her in some way, shape, or form, but she won't say what he did. And so my guess would be is she went after a bad boy and maybe he cheated. Maybe who knows what he did. But she's complaining about relationships and complaining she can't get a good guy. And yet the majority of guys that show up to this church group are single. But she doesn't want any of them. She wants the bad boy. So that just shows that being virtuous, trying to do the right thing, will not earn you points with the majority of girls, even the ones that are good girls. So you're going to have a much easier time if you're just a bad boy. If you build yourself up and do hobbies that are considered interesting. You know, one way you can build yourself up, this is one thing you can do as a man. You can demonstrate value. That's another thing, is men don't really get unconditional love. It's always conditional, and it's conditional based on your value. If you're considered valuable, you will get love. So how do you build up your value? Well, one way is to build up your body, because that's something you have to earn. No one can give it to you. You have to go out and do it yourself diligently and earn that. So you go to the gym, you eat right, you build your body up. And if you do all the right things, you will build your body up. Now, granted, there might be some people with physical limitations and actually have a lot of problems. But at the end of the day, if you eat right and go to the gym, you're going to be a healthy weight. You're going to start building muscle. That's just the way it is. It's basically bulletproof. So you might as well do it and start. And that's a hobby you can have that will put you on the right path towards something that's going to pay huge dividends. I mean, someone who has a healthy body, someone who looks physically fit, who looks physically attractive, you're going to grease so many wheels towards being able to do things. It's not just with girls, it's even with sales. If you show up and you look like you take care of yourself, then you're going to be viewed as more trustworthy than someone who just looks sloppy. That's just the way it is. So try to build yourself up like that. Like myself, I used to be 275 pounds. And now I'm around 165. And my lowest, I was 155. So 275 all the way down to 155. That is a huge change. So I know how hard it is, but it can be done. Another thing is that, trying to demonstrate value by your goals in life and by what you're trying to achieve. And I think picking something correctly when you're going to school to study for it, something that's going to pay off at the end, that's a good way to do that. Another thing is getting hobbies that are interesting. So having weird, obscure collections of things, or wasting your time on video games, that's not really going to be viewed as interesting. And I'm not completely putting down having hobbies or having interest or video games. Like, that's fine. Don't get obsessed with it. Just don't get obsessed with it. Especially video games. You spend all your time playing a video game, and I used to do it too. Spend all my time playing a video game, leveling up, and then either a new game gets released and now you're back to zero, or you just even if a new game doesn't get released, you wasted all that time on something that can just be swept away. Electricity goes out, it's gone. What are you left with? Nothing. So you might as well actually try to build yourself up in the real world, get some real skills, real knowledge, build your body up in the real world, and that will pay off big time. Huge dividends. I wish I had, built up more hobbies, done more things that are considered interesting, like got motorcycles sooner, actually stuck to playing guitar, done things that are interesting, like a musical instrument. That's another thing that's interesting. People always love to, especially if you can play something that is going to be more universal, that like people can sing to in a party or whatever. That would be huge. So yeah, there's just lots of different things, but the main point is try to do interesting things, and try to avoid things they're perceived as boring. And then also, like, once you're talking, if they know you do interesting things, they start to place high value on you. And once they do that, stop talking. That's when you can go into asking them more questions, because then if they perceive you as high value, they're going to simply be flattered that you're paying them attention. So now you don't have to talk as much. And that's a pretty big deal, because then you don't have to worry about messing up as much. So yeah, just lots of different things that I'm more or less seeing firsthand now, and that I didn't get to see before. So learning these things and also trying to implement them and hopefully become more interesting myself. I've been to Sturgis, so I should have a motorcycle and get to do more interesting things, and just hopefully that'll make me a lot more attractive, and yeah, hopefully that'll help someone else out too, because I know I was telling some of my friends that, trying to figure out like how to attract more girls, how to make yourself as attractive as possible. No one wants to be unattractive. You ask anyone, they want to be as attractive as they can be. So it's just a natural thing. Yep, so that's the thing. Try to be as exciting as you can and try not to be boring. That's all I got for now.